Hey everybody, how are you guys doing? Well, I wanted to make a video to kind of discuss some things going on with Revelations with our Kickstarter campaign and also with the future of Revelations, especially amidst all this madness going on with the coronavirus. So, some of you will have noticed because you were pledgers on our campaign and will have noticed that we have canceled the Revelation Skirmish campaign just a little bit ago. Well, why did we do that? At our peak, we had reached about $6,000 in backing. Since that, when we relaunched, because we had launched the original campaign, we altered our prices and we offered some other things like the digital STL files, and we decided to relaunch the campaign about 2 weeks into the first one. We relaunched. When we were originally making all of our plans and everything for the Kickstarter campaign, coronavirus wasn't a problem for the United States. A lot has happened since the middle of March, the beginning of March when we launched, and things have escalated. I mean, there wasn't the lockdowns, there wasn't the curfews, there wasn't a lot of people being laid off or fired from their jobs. A lot of stuff has happened in those few weeks. Our backing dropped from like that $6,000 mark, dropped to below $5,000, which is below our funding. We decided that instead of just limping across the finish line, we decided it was better to be sensitive to what's going on in the world with people right now with coronavirus. We know that some of the people who canceled their pledges was directly due to what was going on with their source of income. Some people were laid off, others just didn't have the money anymore. And, what am I going to do? I can't be mad at them for having to take care of their family and have to pull back their backing. Like, I get it. This sucks. And when it comes to something like a tabletop game, you have to obviously go with rent and food before you go with a game. I get it. So I've been very fortunate that my main source of income up until now has been I've been able to work remotely. And so I've been able to still continue to work. Some stuff's kind of shaking up there, but we'll see how things go. As far as the campaign, some people are going to say, well, why didn't you just let it finish? Like I said, we didn't want to just limp across the finish line. Both Kickstarter and the pledge manager we were going to use were going to take a significant portion of the money that we raised, and it was just off the top going to be gone. And we knew that going in, but we had hoped that at the $5,000 mark, which we hit pretty quickly, within a couple of days, we had already hit the $5,000, that we were going to hit much higher. And in all transparency, the reason that I went with Kickstarter to begin with was in part because we did need some extra money to be able to move forward at a rapid pace, but it was also because I was really, really hoping that being on the Kickstarter platform was going to get us additional eyeballs that we didn't have access to before. It's sometimes really hard to grow a community that wants to support you, especially when you're a brand new brand. You're a new universe, you're a new business, more or less, because people don't know who you are, so you might as well be brand new. Yeah, we've been around for 2+ years now, but that doesn't mean anything if nobody's bought anything from you. They don't know you, they don't have a relationship yet. We're not Games Workshop or Privateer Press or one of these other really big companies that have been around for decades sometimes. So we are still establishing ourselves. So having Kickstarter as a platform to be able to point to and say, we did it, we knocked our campaign out of the park, we got our backers, the product delivered to them out of the park, and we did a great job, but that didn't happen, and that's okay. Our plan going forward, though, is that we've already made a new plan. What we're going to do is, you can't see it, my calendar's outside of the frame. On April 23rd, we are going to be launching our own web store. We've decided that we're not going to worry about crowdfunding anymore. We know that both times we launched our campaign, we hit around $5,900 to $6,000, both times, even though we changed the pricing. There's a lot of stuff going on with coronavirus, right? But even still, we know basically where we were hitting with our pledges. At that amount, we don't really need anybody to help us. We may or may not still hire one person to kind of help us do things, but we don't need like a team of people like we were kind of thinking we might if we hit $80,000 in backing, because we didn't know what to expect. We had been watching a couple of other small game creators and they hit huge amounts of money, and maybe it was just a different timing to promote, obviously not in the middle of a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, but regardless of that, we were watching and we had similar social media size. We were more active with our community and they hit huge numbers, but we didn't. So it's just sometimes how it is. So we are We had thankfully ordered resin and gloves and dice and measuring tape ahead of time, and we already had all the printers in place, the laser cutter in place. We were ready to go. We are ready to go. But we thankfully had those pieces in place prior to coronavirus, so those things are already funded and bought and set up. And at this point, what we need the additional money from doing pre-orders, because that's how we're going to do it. We're going to do pre-orders on our website. We are going to have everything mailed out for this first wave of pre-orders during the first week of June. Additionally, all the pricing on our website is going to reflect what it was on Kickstarter. So that way, if you were backing us there, the price isn't going to change for you. We wanted to try to keep it as close or the exact same as possible, because right now a lot of people are going through a really crappy situation. There's a lot of people getting laid off or having their hours cut. Regardless, they don't have the money that they thought they would have back in January, back in February, when we kept saying that this campaign was coming. So we're actually going to extend our pricing, our discounted pricing, for we don't know how many weeks yet, but we want to extend it further, which will allow people to maybe pull together some money to be able to purchase, or it will also, for those that do want to purchase, still gives them a discount because they might need it right now. It sucks for everybody. You know, this blows. Like this is not timely for anything. Nobody wants to be laid off from work, or no one wants to be stuck in their house for weeks and weeks and weeks and not really able to go out. And it's hard. But I do believe that this will end. I don't know when, but I have plenty of faith that this is not going to stay for much longer. In the grand scheme of things, a couple more weeks is not really that much longer. I know it feels like it now, but when we look back in 5 years, we'll be like, yeah, I remember when we were locked in our house for a couple of weeks. You won't remember how many days exactly. You'll just remember weeks or maybe a month or two, but you won't. Time will soften the pain of that. And I know that eventually the economy will return and people will have jobs again that are paying them a living wage, and that everything will go maybe not back 100% to where it was before. But these people that are on the news saying that things are going to be like this forever, or this is the new normal, they're out of their mind. This isn't. There's no way that it can be, because as humanity, we've been through plagues before. We've been through much worse things than coronavirus, where there was huge numbers of people dying. So yeah, it sucks. It's really bad, and it really sucks for those people that are going through loss of life, or they've been totally fired from their job, and now their house is, and all these other issues that are going on with their health, or with their home, or with their cars, and all these other things. But we will come out of this eventually. As far as for Revelations, like I said, we want to keep our prices more accessible for people right now in the short term. Eventually, we are going to have to raise the prices back to what they're supposed to be at retail, but we want to be sensitive to the way that things are while we can. So this helps us to be able to get some sales, to be able to grow some, and it also helps our players to be able to have a, less that they have to put up, so that they can still play and have a distraction from coronavirus, to be able to get this. And plus we'll be able to mail much sooner. We were looking at October for the Kickstarter campaign because we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how many orders we were going to get. So we wanted to try to have enough of a buffer in there. But now that we know, obviously, that, we weren't hitting $50,000 in sales, or we weren't going to, whatever. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for your guys' continued support. We'll be announcing a lot more stuff going on with the website, with our free list builder, with all the models that we're designing, all kinds of other stuff as we're moving forward. And I just want to thank you guys for your support with everything. All right, stay safe out there, guys, and I'll talk to you again really soon about all the stuff that's going on. All right, bye, guys.